Hi everyone, it is International Mother Languages Today, and I wanted to share with you a little story as some memories came back to me this morning. For the first time in my life, in 2018, I found myself working in a country where I did not speak the mother language. I was working with the International Red Cross at the time in Bangladesh because of the Rohingya refugee crisis. And part of my duties involved interviewing the Rohingya refugees in order to amplify their story. But I did not speak a word of Bengali. So prior to that, I would normally have been able to interview people by myself in English, French, Spanish, Creole, and I would have been able to write my stories, publish them without depending on anyone else apart from the person I'm communicating with. But for the first time in my life, I needed the services of an interpreter. Now, the irony does not escape me. Um, there I was, a certified, qualified, experienced interpreter who needed the services of an interpreter. And at the time, I was assigned a young girl. She was like 18 or 19 years old. Juleka was her name. And young Bangladeshi volunteer with the Bangladeshi Red Crescent. And she was assigned to me as my interpreter. Now, at that time, I have to say, I struggled a bit. I struggled with myself because there am I thinking, this girl has never trained as an interpreter. She has never worked in a booth in her life. She's young, and I'm going to have to rely on her to gather the story from the persons I wanted to interview and to be able to tell that story. And so part of the struggle was me knowing the weight of responsibility that I bear as an interpreter and wondering how is she going to cope with the responsibility of rendering the words of the person I'm interviewing, rendering them faithfully in my language, which was not her native language. So, of course, she mastered Bengali, the dialect of Cox's Bazar region, which is where the refugees live, and she spoke very good English. And I really had to just release and say, listen, in that moment, she is a subject matter expert. It did not matter what her qualifications were. What mattered is that she spoke the mother tongue, the mother language of the people that I needed to interview. We were coming up on the 1 year mark. It had been 1 year since the Rohingyas had fled violence in Myanmar and they found refuge in Bangladesh. And so part of my job was to tell their stories and take a look at how life had been over the previous year. The other thing that I realized in that moment is the power of connecting. Languages have the power to connect. Speaking the mother language, the mother tongue of a person is what enables you to connect. And so as we were going into the camps, these sprawling camps where over 1 million refugees were living and still live today, Juleka was able to connect with the people I needed to interview. And thanks to her and thanks to that connection and the trust that she was able to establish with them, they allowed me, a foreigner, into their home. Now, these people are living up to today in bamboo and tarpaulins, but this is their sacred space. This is their sanctuary. And without that connection that Juleka, the interpreter, had established, I probably would not have been invited into their home to sit on the floor and listen to their story. So today, on International Mother Languages Day, I want to pay special tribute to my colleagues, especially in Bangladesh, but colleagues across the globe, the colleagues in Bangladesh who continue to work in very difficult circumstances, who continue to amplify the voices of the voiceless. And it's funny, I found this photo. I took this photo in 2018 in Bangladesh, and it's a photo of some of the interpreters who worked at the Red Cross field hospital in Cox's Bazar. We have here Kushi, that's me there, Sushmita. Oh gosh, I forget the names of the guys. Mohammed is one of them, and then Shukpa. These are some of the interpreters who worked. Some of them have moved on now, but they worked at the field hospital. And without them, without their services, all of these international medical experts who were working at the field hospital would not have been able to deliver the level of care that they did to the Rohingya refugees and the Bangladeshis in the community. You see, it's thanks to their mastery, their mother language, and their mastery of English, they were able to serve as interpreters in a crisis context. So today, I salute you, my Bangladeshi friends, wherever you are today. I tip my hat to you, and I celebrate International Mother Languages Day with special thoughts, special memories of you.